back to WTA News. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So, got a lot of work, got a lot of news, got a lot to get out, and short time. So, let's start digging into these news articles. First, we got a few tweets. There's two tweets I thought was important, so I'm going to go ahead and share them with you. The first one says, you can now deposit any XDC you own into your Uphold wallet or buy XDC on Uphold and seamlessly transfer it to your external XDC network wallet on chain. It's been a few places you could pick up XDC. Real quick, why is XDC even important? Obviously, because it's used and accepted as an ISO 20022, which is very important because banks will be using this to do transactions. So clearly that's important. And now you see one more place you can pick that up. So you can pick up XDC on Uphold, and yes, you can transfer it out to your personal wallet that you so choose. Now, let's keep it moving. Algorand, that's right, Algorand. We're going to talk about some Algorand. ZTL Mint has become the first payment institution in Europe to operate on a public blockchain. It says, we have built Europe's first payment institution on blockchain. All right, ZTL Mint, which is running on the Algorand blockchain. So important there, and why? Because it's used and accepted and used on the ISO 20022 messaging system. So very important that we keep up with these things. So yeah, two things to keep your eyes on. That's right, XDC and Algorand. Next article. It says NEOBANK N26 launches cryptocurrency trading with more than 100 tokens. N26, the German neobank valued at $9 million, has launched cryptocurrency trading tools via a partnership with investment platform Bitpanda. All right, neobank valued at $9 billion, and I know technically that's small amounts of money in the grand scheme, but nonetheless, we're seeing more crypto connections. And dealing with a bank, I would only suspect we're going to find ISO blockchains and networks, ISO accepted for use blockchains and networks attached to this. Goes on to say, starting today, customers in Austria will be able to trade over 100 tokens, including Dogecoin, Solana, AVAX, and Shiba Inu. According to a statement on Thursday, these features will be rolled out to other markets in the coming months. And yeah, I mean, kudos, Dogecoin. Yeah, Shiba, kudos. But I don't want to discuss those. I just want to get through this article. It says these tools are enabled through APIs from Bitpanda's white label business that allows platforms to tap into its trading tools. It will be available to access via the trading section of the N26 app's forthcoming Finances tab. While cryptocurrencies have seen a decline in value over the last year, they remain a requested and interesting asset class for investors and a growing part of the financial system, said N26 CEO Valentin Stalf in the announcement. Cryptocurrency trading is often the entry point to investing for a new generation of investors who are looking to explore ways to grow their wealth. Yes, but I don't like the way that's worded. So technically, one would be investing, right, their local currency into these other currencies. And it would be investing based on the fact that you're hoping, or your intent is that you believe you'll gain more value in purchasing something, right? So technically, everything is an investment. Well, a lot of things are investments. Well, technically, everything's an investment. If you think about it, you're getting a use or a gain out of it. So that's kind of like clever wordplay. Everything that you buy is an investment, if you think about it. And I don't even want to get into that, but let's just if you got some thoughts on what you spent money on that you feel has been an investment, and I'm not talking about stocks and cryptos, I'm just talking about stuff you just bought and like, yeah, that's an investment. All right, yeah. Next article, developers excluded from broker label in new DCCPA bill draft. Previous bills have defined broker broadly to include node operators and wallet manufacturers, which this bill specifically excludes. The draft also includes new language that could order the CFTC to provide a report on the DeFi market size and protocols within 180 days of the enactment of the bill. It would also order the CFTC to liaise with foreign regulators to ensure that U.S. rules harmonize with international regulations. Now look at that. There goes the United States one more time. We're going to make sure that you people follow our rules. Being classified as a broker would entail specific tax reporting requirements, which software developers would not be able to do without centralized management of their platforms, which gives somebody to point the finger to, especially when there's, things that happen with the currency, so on and so forth. So centralization, finger to point. This version contains a limited exception to the term digital commodity trading facility, which would exclude persons who solely develop or publish software. This could be a boon to DeFi/crypto. Crypto attorney Gabriel Shapiro tweets. It goes on to say, a new draft of the Digital Commodities Consumer Protection Act, which the Commodities Future Trading Commission would use to regulate the industry, has been uploaded to GitHub, and many crypto stakeholders are relieved. New language added to the bill would specifically exclude software developers from being counted as digital commodity brokers, and that's fair. I mean, they're just developing the technology, and of course, they're not brokering it. It's coins that had to be created, so they're creators, right? So after that, if you have a central base of operations, somebody's controlling these things, well, obviously it's kind of defeating the purpose of what it's supposed to be, but then you have somebody to point the finger to, but you can't really point it at somebody who created it. I know, right? UK government includes new crypto amendment in finance regulation bill. New bills. UK, everybody's going to make laws for this stuff. Everybody's going to make laws. The UK's Financial Services and Markets Bill is home to new amendments seeking to regulate crypto and ban unauthorized service providers. Following an amendment paper published on Friday, Andrew Griffiths, Financial Services Minister, tabled amendments and added a note to clarify that the powers relating to financial promotion and regulated activities can be relied on to regulate crypto assets and activities relating to crypto assets. Crypto assets is also defined with a power to amend the definition. Okay. So the UK, they're trying to get a bill out there that's going to regulate crypto and ban unauthorized service providers. So, what's the service? And I guess upon finding the service, then you can find a provider of the service, right? When we think of services, we think about a cell phone service, and you have a company that provides that service. When we think about cryptocurrency, we have a currency, right? We have a tool. Some could even call it an asset because you need that particular tool, which is an asset to you. The wording is really clever when you think about all this. And let's just try to unpack this for a second. So what is an asset to you? They're so sneaky. So if you do a job, then any tool that you use to do that job then is therefore an asset to you, right? And so then you have to think about that and say, well, that tool is making you money, right? And then you say, okay, well, when I file taxes, I claim any tools that I purchased for the year on that tax, right? So then therefore, I've used an asset as something, a taxable event that can possibly help me because I had to pay for that asset or that tool, which is an asset to me and my business. So just thinking about how clever they are with the wordplay, right? And it makes sense, though. It makes sense. So I guess it'd be the same thing when you start thinking about a commodity. But, we're not going to dive into that. I just want to, try to absorb all this. All right, so let's continue. It says, if passed, the amendments will give the UK a more comprehensive regulatory framework for crypto, because there's no framework and no regulation for crypto. I believe all these countries have regulation in crypto, for crypto, and I guess they're just taking the time to make a show out of it. But anywho, specifically, it will provide the Financial Conduct Authority and HM Treasury with more oversight powers. Okay, well, the Treasury regulates their assets, their commodities, and then their currency, right? Anything that belongs to the Treasury. Ooh, this is sneaky too. So anything that belongs to the Treasury, yes, they have the authority over it. And so that leads us to another discussion, which I don't intend on having here. You'll just have to think about it and absorb it yourself. But let's just think, when you work for a company, you're employed by a company, you sign a contract, you work for this company, you're an asset to this company, right? And, you're a tool for the company. You're even a commodity to the company. And when you're working for that company, they have authority over you, lest you terminate your employment or terminate your contract, or i.e. they terminate your contract for you. So then if you look at this, you're like, oh, the authority, right? So then, therefore, it's no different, right? You working for a job, they have authority over you, and just apply that to different things you can think of. Just apply that, and then, we'll get a better understanding of that wordplay. But let's continue. Currently, the UK's crypto regulatory powers are largely in the hands of the FCA, which decides on the registrations of crypto firms according to strict anti-money laundering requirements. So, crypto firm being a place with head, which makes it central, does bring them into a point where they have to be under laws and whatever country you're operating out of. You're central, and once you're central, there is a place for them to regulate. So yeah, expect that for regulators. So I guess that would even mean that if you're not central, they have the right to make you illegal, because there's nobody for them to put the thumb on, or to assert authority over, or to regulate their framework. That's clever. It's really clever. The proceedings on the bill should be concluded on November 3rd. However, with turmoil following Prime Minister Liz Truss resignation on Thursday, changes in the schedule may be anticipated. The Financial Services and Markets Bill framework already focuses on stablecoins, and the broader framework will tie the UK closer to the EU's comprehensive markets and crypto asset regulation. So I guess when they start talking about stablecoins, as far as we know right now, I can talk about stuff like USDC and Tether, where those coins are backed 1-to-1 with an actual currency belonging to another country, right? So like, you think about the United States. Well, the USDC is backed by bonds, right? Debt contracts of the United States, as well as actual money 1-to-1. So if that's the case, then that stable coin puts itself, because it's backed by United States dollars, right in the focus of being regulated and having authority over it. So I can understand why they would need to make a bill and framework for stable coins, which would be no different than the concept of a central bank digital currency, because you're dealing with something that ties directly to a particular country and their banking services and their currency as well. So clearly they've got that one too. Well, I guess we're done with that. Let's move on. All right. Stablecoin issuers should be subject to regulatory oversight, says the FDIC chairman. At a Brookings Institution event on Thursday, Gruenberg said that the FDIC has been investigating the risk of cryptocurrencies since April 2022. Really? I don't believe that. I think you've been risking that for a long time, because this isn't nothing new. But it says, but that doesn't mean he is wholly critical of the sector. You can't be. It's the system that you guys are going to use. In fact, Gruenberg specifically lauded stablecoins and their ability to offer cost-effective, real-time, around-the-clock service, especially if we're talking banks and we're talking their messaging system, which uses blockchains that we commonly find ourselves getting more and more familiar with, like XRP, Stellar Lumens, XDC, Algorand, and so on and so forth. So yes, when you run stable coins on those blockchains, you get 24/7, 365 instantaneously with the smallest percentage chance for anything going crazy with it happening. I mean, it's a good deal. So yeah, Gruenberg, right? All right, so according to him, stablecoins could fundamentally alter the banking industry and should thus be subjected to a legal framework and regulation. So true. True, again, this goes back to when we talk about currencies that are backed by nations, native currencies, and so on, their bonds. And so when a country is backing a currency, yes, there should be, that should be subjected to legal framework and regulation, obviously, because that country, it's theirs. And so that kind of puts you in a position, it's like, well, do I really want to be involved with that? You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, it's common. It's common, and whatever country you go to, you're using their currency to conduct business. It's common. So if a stable coin is backed by a currency that belongs to a country, it's common. All right. So it's going to be subjected to legal framework and regulation. So that makes sense as well. All payment stablecoin issuers should, just like banks, whether federal or state chartered, be subject to prudential regulation and oversight, he said. And yes, that's true as well. All payment stablecoin issuers, right? So you think about Circle with the USDC. You think about Tether. You think about, what's this other one? There's a couple of them. You think about Tron now issuing a USDD. So when you look all through that, yeah, technically, you should treat those like banks, because there's going to have to be regulation over top of these coins, or these companies that are creating these stable coins, so that they're not doing what we've seen happen in the with the Fed here in the United States, where you're just constantly printing money and, raising your debt by creating more money and putting it into the system for use without actually paying for it. And yes, I do understand, well, it's my money, I can make however much I want to. Well, yes and no. Technically, yes, you can, but the no part is what you're going to do to the money that's already in circulation is you're cutting the worth of it. And then when it's no longer valuable, it's going to be accepted for payment from who? Who wants money that has no value, right? So what does it say? It says, as the agency gains better knowledge of the industry, it, alongside other federal banking agencies, will begin offering supervisory feedback to financial institutions. And it makes sense. I got you. There's nothing even to even argue at this point, because you're going to need this regulation, because people do bad things, right? People do bad things. Well, oh, wow, look at that. We're at the end. If you made it to the whole video, thank you. The video is now about to be over. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some value out of it. I hope you take the time to hit that like button, and I hope you also share the video with your family, friends, and loved ones, and anybody you think could use it. And don't forget to subscribe. And I will catch you in the next one.